Welcome to a guide to new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Tuesday the 25th of June and we have new mods, as the thumbnail says, DEERE. This is a John Deere 9RT and it's an absolute beast. Massive. Quite a few configurations on this. It's difficult to tell when you've got a picture, and when you kind of move up towards it you think, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's a biggish tractor. But when you compare it to other ones, we'll take it over to the 8RT in a minute and you'll see it is huge. This is by Stephan Beran, RAFAZR and Custom Modding. I mean, it is absolutely huge. Now, rear PTO, but it doesn't have a 3-point link. It's got like a drawbar attacher, very much like the big buds. So if you are going to be hooking up attachments to this, most of the larger equipment has drawbar attachments. A lot of the big bud pack stuff from FS17 that's been transferred over does. But if you want to go with a 3-point link attachment on the back of this, you're going to want to go for the trailed lifter, which does exactly that. It takes you from a drawbar normal attacher to a 3-point link on the back, which gives you the option to put 3-point link attachments on it. But this is incredibly nice. Really very, very nice indeed. Now we've got a few options, so we'll have a look in store before we do anything else. It's under large tractors, as you might imagine. We've got the 7R, we've got the 8R, we've got the 8RT, and now we go all out to the 9RT. Even the picture in the menu looks big. 479,000 for the standard version. 24-mile-an-hour top speed. Starts at 470 horsepower and goes up. It's heavy on the slot count. It's 45 slots, but options available. Wow. We can have standard configuration. We can have a 600 kilogram weight, 1000 kilogram front weight, 1400 kilogram, 2200 kilogram, or back to standard. As far as tracks go, we can have 30-inch wide tracks, or we can have 36s. I do like the 36s. Very nice. We can have standard tracks. If you look at the front jockey wheel, we can have standard weights with a 300 kilogram weight on that front jockey wheel. Take that off, put it on. We can have 1000 kilogram weight, and then we go on to wide tracks. So go to the back, wide track. Sorry, hang on. Wide tracks. Then we can have wide track with a 300 kilogram weight, wide track with a 1000 kilogram weight, and then we go back to standard tracks again. So we've got quite a few options available there. Now this is the US version at the moment. We've got a Starfire GPS unit, Starfire 3000 maybe, I'm not too sure, on the top. But if we go from US version to the EU version, we get the kind of hazard squares, the red and white front and rear, plus some light stalks on those as well. The US version has the light stalks a little bit lower, and when we put those on, obviously the EU one, the light stalks go a little bit higher, so, or indicator stalks, whichever I call them. And then we've got the engine setup itself. We've got 470 horsepower as your standard. Then for an extra 52,000, you can go up to the 9520 RT, which is 572 horsepower. Or we can go to the 9570 RT, which is 628 horsepower. An absolute brute. So yeah, a few options available. If you're a US citizen, you may prefer the US version. If you're health and safety mad, like the EU, maybe you can have the hazard squares. It depends what option you would prefer. So as far as what does it sound like, well, fairly quiet, I'll be honest. I've got the EU version with the hazard squares. Lights on the front, rear lights, front work lights. Got one beacon. Indicators. Let's turn the beacon off. Blinkers, flashes, whatever you call them. Like so. Lights off again. In cab. We turn the engine off. The screens go off. Engine on. Lights on. You get the console lights up a little bit. But then you don't, and nothing else comes up on that lighting rig there. Indicators come up on the door, well, the cab pillar, the door pillar. So, like so, and like so. There are no options for opening doors or anything like that. I'll just open up the menu and show you. That's standard. L1, toggle map size. R1, honk and stop engine. L1, R1. Cruise control, radio, and cruise control speed. So there's no options there for doors or windows or anything like that. Dials are all going very nicely. Say dials. I'm saying dials. That's a bit analog, isn't it? The display. It is huge. So let's put it next to the 8RT and let's have a look, shall we? It dwarfs it. I mean, look at the size of it. Absolutely mahoosive, I think is the actual term. That's the technical term for it, mahoosive. It is a glorious piece of machinery. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a John Deere nut, I'm not a, you know, particularly pro John Deere or anything at all, but it's a very nice tractor and very, very big, with plenty of horsepower, plenty of grunt. Very nice mod indeed. Like that. Right, moving on. We have got over here. Let's have a look over here, shall we? Right, this is by WhiteBull Modding. This is the transport tool. It's 4 slots. We had this on FS17. I think we had a version of this up on FS19 right back at the very start, if I recall correctly. I might still be thinking of FS17. It was the 3-point tool or something, was it called? By Black Sheep Modding originally. This is the WhiteBull Modding version. It's a 2,000 litre capacity, 3-point link tool attacher. It will take most crops. It has straps on it so you can do logging and things like that. I'm going to use it to show another mod in a second, but let's just jump in. And hook up. So we can raise and lower it. Now, what I am surprised by, if I open up the help menu, we've got option for tip, like so. And we've got the option for opening and closing the rear, like that. But there's no option for kind of manually adjusting it, because what it does say is you can pick off the floor. Because when I used to use the other version, this was on 17, I used to use it for cleaning out feed areas. It was quite cool on a small piece of machinery, or small tractor, for cleaning feed areas, plus putting feed in and straw in and that kind of thing. What I have found with this is when you lower it right down, it doesn't go right to the floor. So where it says it will pick up from the floor, we'll try that now. If I back up, it does, but it doesn't pick up everything. It leaves a little something behind, and there is no way to tilt that anymore. Possibly on a different tractor if the 3-point link allows it to go any further, but I think that's pretty much on the deck. The orange portion of that is on the floor. So yeah, I'm not sure. You're going to leave bits behind, but anyway, close that up and raise it. Now this, like I say, this will take all sorts of crops and various different things. You can put logs in it, whatever you want. It's in the store under trailers. So if we go to trailers, right at the very end, the lizard loader. Now weirdly it says in here loader, in the Modhub it says transport tool, so either one. 1,400 to buy, only 4 slots, which isn't horrendous. It will take all those crop types, lime and seed and fertiliser and root crops, and you name it, it will take it. Options available, we can change the main colour. So, like say for example, I went with the John Deere green because I was going to put it on the John Deere, but then decided to go with something else. But yeah, whatever colour you want to pick to go with your fleet, or just because you want it to stand out in the long grass and not lose it, probably is the best thing I would suggest. But there you go. So what we'll do now is take it over towards the next mod. So the next one's going to be a kind of bit of both here. So we'll do the next mod and this one kind of in conjunction with each other. Let's just stop that there. So the next mod we're going to be looking at here is the fruit orchard. This is the fruit orchard by GTX LS-Modcompany. Now, the fruit trees we had on FS17 were individual trees that you could place. This is a fruit orchard, and you buy it as a placeable, and it comes like this, with a base, with your water tanks at the front, with a manure thing at the front with a little shovel, which is very, very nice. You've also got a wheelbarrow behind, a few little details which are quite nice. But at night the lights come on, you've got this little path behind here, and you've got a bench as well. So it's a nice little area in the evening when the lights come on. There's an orange tree version and there's an apple tree version. Just there. Now if you give them water, they will give you a certain amount per hour. And if you give them manure as well, it will double that up. So I've got to find, let me just check it on my, I'll get it up on my phone because I don't want to get it wrong. Let's have a quick look. So it says on here, income per hour on easy 90, on normal 60, on hard 40. And it does say on here that water is added, you get that. By adding manure, you'll double your income because it will produce a better yield. And that the fruit is sold automatically every hour, so you get that price every hour. Fine. It also then says each orchard comes with automatic watering at 6 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 5 in the evening. It's a dynamic activity, and the water sprayers, and I think they're on the ground here. Where are we? Here. Automatically water the trees. So whereas before when you had individual trees you had to put the water and the manure right down by the tree trunk, you actually do it at the front here. So you put the water in here and it automatically waters, and you put the manure in there. Now I have got oranges on this one already and apples on this one because I have put some water in both of them. But what we will do using this mod, turn the light off now, is I'll go to the other one as well. So this on the apple one will double your income if you add manure to it as well. So what I can do is, if I get it just right, if I tip that now, actually if I open the back first, and then tip, that tips the manure in, you'll start to get a little pile there. I'll drive forward a little bit. There we go. So you'll see with that mod as well, the loader, transport tool. I'm pretty sure the one on FS17 was a 4,000 litre one, but 2,000 litres, it's okay. I mean, you can probably do being a little bit bigger. That's just my own personal opinion. It would make life a little bit easier if it was 4,000 litre rather than the 2, but it will still do the job. So now in this one we've got water and we've got manure. As soon as you put water in, the fruit will appear on the trees. But the manure, like I say, that will just double your income. As far as water goes, what we will do is, let's chop that off. I think I've got some water in here already. I always remember the triggers being a little bit tricky on the FS17 version. I think having it like this is an interesting way of doing it. So we come up alongside and it will give us the trigger to water. So let's take a maximum now. And the same with the other one over here. Like so. There we go. And there you go. Now as far as, actually turn the engine off. As far as actually in the store goes, I don't know if this is going to have an update. Potentially it's going to have an update, unless this is what it's supposed to be. In miscellaneous, So here they are, the apple orchard and the orange orchard. Now because I've placed one of each, the slot count has dropped. The initial slot count on each of these is 82. 82 slots for each one, for the first of each one. 25,000 to buy as well, so they're not that cheap, but you do get 6 trees, is it? Oh no, 4 trees. Okay. But 82 slots, that's heavy. That's quite heavy on the slot count. Now I don't know, again, that could be, like I've said before, when modders submit them, they have no way of testing them for console. They'll do all the things they need to get them onto console, and for some reason it pings up very heavy on slot count sometimes, and the modders will often go away, they might do a bit of an update, a bit of a tweak, and you often find the slot count drops dramatically. But there you go. So, fruit orchards, oranges and apples from GTX LS-Modcompany. Very nice indeed. Which moves on to the last of our mods today, and this is the Slurry Lagoon. Not quite as nice as a blue lagoon, or a lovely kind of sandy beach lagoon. Probably doesn't smell as nice and probably doesn't look as nice. But we have got, well, actually 9 in total. We've got 3 separate lagoons with 3 choices in each. Again, very nice mods. Slurry Lagoon, toxic gas, no entry. Got the pipe at the front here. There are 3 to choose from. We've got a double fill point one, which measures, I think it was 20 by 20. Again, I will just check, so I don't want to get that wrong. I'm sure it's 20 by 20. We've got a 20 by 20 with 2 fill points. We've got a 12 by 20 with 1 fill point, and we've got an 18 by 18 round. 18 by 18? So that's the 20 by 20. The 20 across by 12 deep. And then we've got an 18 by 18 round. We'll have a look at those installed just a second. I've placed one of each type. Again, that will make more sense once we have a look at install. Again, this is in miscellaneous. So we've got a buy station, a storage station and a selling station in each of those types. So the first ones are the 20 by 20. 30 grand to buy. Well, they are all 3 slots each for the first one. So the first one is your buying station. You can buy slurry from there, a bit like the whole Glaceng stock slurry one. And then we've got the slurry storage that will hold 250,000 litres. So if you've got a surplus of storage on your farm, or you want to buy some and store it at your farm to use for doing your fields, you can buy that for 30 grand, place it, and you can store it. 250,000 litres worth. And then you've got your selling station. So if you want to place that somewhere on your map and then go and sell surplus slurry that you've got from your animals, you can do that. You've then got the same 3 options in the 12 by 20 or 20 by 12. And then you've got the same 3 options in the 18 metre round one. Obviously the 20 by 12 is only 15 grand, and then the rounder one is 20,000. But you've got the same 3 options in each. So what I've done, I've gone with the buying one on the 20 by 20, I've gone with the storage on the 20 by 12, and I've gone with the sell point on, just so we've got one of each that, yeah, hopefully that kind of makes sense. So turn it off, disconnect that, got myself a little slurry tanker, nothing massive. So the first one has got the double fill point, the 20 by 20, so you can fill this side or the other side on whatever option you want to go for. So this is the buy point one I've gone for. It's not overly expensive to buy slurry, which is actually quite handy. So if you wanted to use it just for slurry in your fields, if you want to go more organic than using chemical fertilisers, it's not a bad alternative, and it's not overly expensive, which is quite nice. So we go, 10,000 litres, cost 329. Wow, that is very cheap. The next one is the storage option. So as far as storage goes, depending on what space you've got, each one is 250,000 litres. So if you don't want a massive one, you want to go with the round one maybe and be able to store 250,000 litres. It's a good option to have. So if I do R1 and triangle, that will then put that into storage, and that can be used at any point. So that's what's going to storage now. I'll drive out of that slot before I run out. There we go. Then the last one here is the sell point. So we come to it again, start overloading, R1 and triangle, and I will sell the slurry that I've got in the back of that tank. So the money is now going back up again. Now bearing in mind that only cost me, what was it, 300 and something to buy, I think it was. You're not going to make mega money. This is not going to be a, maybe on easy you'll make a bit more money, but you're not going to make catastrophic amounts of money doing this. So for what I had in there, I made 177. You're going to make a fraction more back. So that kind of idea of maybe buying from one, selling to the other and making your fortune, I don't think you're going to. It's realistically for just getting rid of surplus slurry if you have it. But there you go. Very nice mods, those. They placed no problem at all. Very close together as well. There wasn't any issue with anything. Sometimes you get the mods, they come up red and they won't allow you to place close to other ones. The same with the fruit orchards. They placed very, very closely together. So there we go. We've got the 9RT Behemoth. We've got the fruit orchards. We've got the transport tool loader, and we've got the slurry lagoons. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.